What is up, friends, and welcome to another edition of Wex Appeal Barbells, Beats, and Buffoonery. I am your host, Wex, and it is episode number 7, and I am super excited about today's episode. It's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Before we get into what we're going to be talking about on today's episode, I want to talk to you about Duke Cannon Supply Company. And they are the place that you want to go if you want the man in your life to smell good, or if you want yourself to smell good. Get over there to dukecannon.com. They have soaps, shampoo, body wash, colognes. I mean, you name it, they have it. They've got lip balm. They've got all sorts of things to make the man in your life smell absolutely amazing, no matter where he goes or what he's doing. It's my favorite. I use it myself, and I've sent it as gifts to my brother and other people as well. You definitely want to get in on this soap and check it out. You want to smell awesome and also support a company that gives back and is made right here in the United States of America. This is the place to go. Proceeds from Duke Cannon Supply Company go to support veterans initiatives all over the United States, and I couldn't be prouder to support a company that supports our veterans. Absolutely amazing company. Go check them out today. Once again, use the code BBWEX7, that's BBWEX7, to get 10% off your order and get smelling amazing this holiday season today. Now, let's talk about my guest today. My guest today is a CrossFit Games athlete. She has competed multiple years as an individual. She's also most recently competed in 2019 on the team division of the CrossFit Games. She has been a anchor for the Iron Game for Rogue, so she's been an announcer. She also most recently competed on the Titan Games season number 2, and she was the West champion as well as finalist for the Ultimate Titan Games champion. Came up just a little bit short. We talk about that in the episode today. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is Margaux Alvarez. She is a winemaker as well, and we get to taste some of the wine today, and it is delicious. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's my interview with Margaux Alvarez. All right, Margaux, thank you so much for being here and being on the show. You're like my first official guest on Wex Appeal, so thank you for being here. And just we've loved as a family. We've watched you with I've watched you with of course with the CrossFit Games, but then of course this past year we were all in quarantine and we got to watch you on the Titan Games, and it's been awesome. It kind of sparked it gave my 7-year-old daughter a little spark that she was already competitive. Mm-hmm. But it kind of threw it into overdrive, and she started working out every single day and following, the stuff that you're doing online. And I'm super happy to have her have a role model like you. So thank you.
Well, of course, I'm glad to hear that. I've seen the videos, and I just love seeing her get after it. So it's inspiring, even at my end, just because there's days where maybe you're not as motivated, you have so much going on, but it puts a lot of things in perspective and just puts the or takes the blinders off, I guess, in a way, so you can see a bigger picture of what actually is going on in life, and it definitely brings a smile to my face.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for just being a positive role model. I love that girls can see that that's okay, to have strength and poise and be successful. So that is awesome. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
of course. Thank you.
Having you on the show, obviously some people know, I would say that most people know you a lot more now because of the Titan Games. They got exposed to you on a national level with Titan Games and The Rock. So kind of walk me through that experience. What was that whole thing like?
It was, it was incredible. It was such a unique opportunity that doesn't always come around, and you don't always have that chance. So when it did, I was like, all right, let's go for it. A little backstory: I had applied for American Ninja Warrior in 2018, end of 2018. The casting team had saw me on social media, and they reached out and said, hey, you think it'd be great to apply for this? So I applied, and I got selected, which was awesome. Got to go down in LA and do that, and it was great. adding and implementing like ninja training was definitely something different, but I think it was great for good overall body awareness. Did that, didn't get as far as I wanted, but it was a really cool experience. Running in like 3 a.m. in the morning in LA was kind of unique because it's like they do all the filming at night. So it definitely throws a loop in there, but it was a cool experience. And so the same casting team that did American Enjoyer also did Titan Games. And when I
Oh,
watched the Titan Games earlier than 2019, I was like, man, that looks really cool. I was like, I feel like that would be a little bit more up my alleyway experience wise. I love obstacle courses. I love odd object stuff. So when the casting team had reached out to me, I think end of 2019, like that's fall-ish time, I was like, yeah, like totally. I'll like let me do what I need to do. So filled out application, submitted a video, everything. It's kind of a tedious process because there's a lot of legalities and everything that go into it. But I got selected to go down for the preliminaries, which was like they called like a combine in January of this year. Got to do that, and then was selected one of the 18 women to continue on for the actual show. So it was a really cool experience, and I think it's hard because I talk about celebrating successes and like enjoying the little wins every day, and I think it's hard because I look back and like I think I was so excited, but I was like I try to keep things like even keeled. So now I'm like, oh man, that was so exciting. But
yeah.
I'm grateful I had that chance to like be selected and go on there and compete with everyone and meet the Rock and all that.
Well, I mean, it was cool watching. So I have to ask, how long was that like total process? Because I mean, obviously it ran over, I think what, like 12 weeks, I think it ran on TV.
Yeah.
But like how long was the actual like production from start to final?
Yeah, so once we were in Atlanta, we did all the filming in Atlanta. We were there for about 3.5, almost 4 weeks. So
Okay.
it was a lot of like long days, long production days. And I've done like photo shoots before and stuff. So I have an experience of like, it's going to be for sure long days. This is a little different because there's tons of footage they want to catch. But again, it was about 3.5 to 4 weeks that we were all there. But it was really cool because a lot of us that went there, we connected with one another, and we still like text and keep in touch today. We actually had like a mini reunion last month in Nashville, which was kind of cool because I've met some amazing individuals with so many backgrounds and different places that I probably maybe never would have crossed paths. Some that did CrossFit, I might have crossed paths with them at like maybe competitions or some sort of like fitness
Sure.
festival in a sense. But yeah, it wasn't as long as like the 12 period that you saw like on TV.
Yeah. Well, and so I have to ask because this has come up. I've seen like interviews where they've been talking about like people talking about the Titan Games and CrossFit, and so I have to ask the question of there was no mention, of course, of CrossFit. Was that like just the NBC legality and kind of the old regime being scared to mention CrossFit?
So I don't know 100%, but from what I've gathered is that with CrossFit, since it's trademarked, you're not allowed to use the name unless you have the permission. So I think, again, I'm not 100% sure, but I imagine NBC wouldn't want to have to go and like go get permission and all that just because it's a lengthy process. So
Yeah.
they didn't mention the CrossFit, but two, the other focus was they wanted to focus more on the person's story or background of what they went through, their hardship more so than the training methodology. And I
Sure.
saw a lot of comments like that. People are like, oh, well, they're a CrossFit Games athlete. And not to take away from myself or any other athlete out there that have competed multiple times. I mean, and it's tough again. Like, I'm like, okay, I've competed at the games 7 years in a row, but like, that's a huge accomplishment. I need to give myself credit for that. But I think the aspect and the goal with The Rock and what he wanted to do is more showcase the individuals of how they have been able to either overcome a challenge in their life or get to a point where they've been able to help and inspire people by sharing their story and their platform and how they've been able to help other individuals out there more so than their training. And again, like I think a lot of people were like, all right, well, a lot of these people do CrossFit or did CrossFit or did some sort of high intensity training. And yeah, that definitely helps you be well rounded. And I agree, CrossFit has allowed me to be a more well rounded athlete.
Yeah.
That's a handful. But again, they want to focus more on the story and kind of how it was. And I think Matt said it really well responding to someone on Instagram. But I mean, for example, Matt's story of like he almost died in a mountain biking accident. Luckily,
Yeah.
he was able to get airlifted out, and it literally saved his life and his leg. So,
Yeah.
not that him being a CrossFit Games athlete should not be taken lightly. Like that's a huge accomplishment as well for being multiple games athlete and who he is in the fitness realm. But I'm like, man, like that, I mean, gives me just chills thinking about that. Like, and I love him and Shuri, like they're both amazing people.
Yeah.
And I think again, the focus was just to focus more on their story and who they are.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest, CrossFit almost ran the whole gambit with, with the finals. I mean, you guys represented the sport of CrossFit very well. So you
Oh,
guys,
cute.
although you couldn't say CrossFit, the CrossFit community saw it and was very happy to cheer you guys on, and so much representation from the games or regionals and things like that. So it was cool to see for us. We knew.
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was fun.
I agree. Yeah, it's the CrossFit community has been incredible, and obviously a lot of people out there. I think it's you have that pride, and you want to say, hey, like this sport or these group of people or the community people that support everyone. Of course, you want it to be out there, and obviously, like I'm so grateful for the support. It's just like understanding, like, all right, it's more comes down to trademark and legality and legal issues
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Yeah, I actually, it's funny that you should say that. I was actually at the 2018 games as a volunteer,
Nice.
and Grant McCartney was doing kind of video stuff around the grounds for
Yeah.
CrossFit, but they were like, well, we need to be careful where we let him and what we're doing because NBC and CrossFit. So, but I've actually reached out to Grant to try and get a hold of him too, to talk to him because I know he
Yeah.
does a lot of stuff with CrossFit as well.
Yeah.
Like he's always posted from CrossFit. But
That's awesome.
so I have to ask the one question about the Titan Games. You did Lunar Impact. Now, I know Matt posted on Instagram saying that, I mean, it's only like like a 2-minute clip of you guys going back and forth on this thing.
Yeah.
How long were you up there?
So I think Kelly and I were up there for like 10 to 15 minutes. And it's
Yeah.
tough because I think I remember asking someone like, I was like, man, how long was it? They're like, oh, you guys were over there like at least 10 minutes. I was like, really? I didn't realize it was that long. And I think everything kind of melted into one because like it's
Yeah.
warm, you're sweating, you're just thinking like a max effort wall push against someone you can't see.
Sure.
But I know we were up there for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And I know like once, I mean, Bartley and Matt were up there for like 20 plus minutes. And I was like, that's amazing.
Well, and it's funny because I think Danny was on Lunar Impact as well.
Yes.
And when she was on Lunar Impact, although again it was like a 2-minute edit, like towards the end of it, they did a shot of her face, and you could tell she had been up there for a while because she was just, I mean, drenched, like makeup running, drenched.
Yeah, I can't remember how long they were up there, but they for sure were up there a good amount of time as well.
Yeah, and so like, what was that event like? Because I mean, that was what, 30 feet in the air or
Something
I
like
don't
that,
know.
like 30, 40 feet. I can't remember. I just remember one because like when you climb the stair, like when you get to the handles, like my goal was just to get to the handles as fast as I can, get up as quick as I can, because the quicker I get to the wall, the more
Yeah.
momentum I can generate, and then hopefully keep the momentum going. And I think Kelly got up the ladder a little faster than I did, so she got to the wall a little quicker. But so when I saw it coming at me, I was like, man, I just gotta stop this thing and like hold it. And in the beginning, like she had gained some distance on me, and then we kind of went back and forth, like we teetered and tottered back and forth. But it was crazy because like like I said earlier, it's like a max effort wall sit where it's not just an isometric hold, but now you're like pushing against your feet like into the floor. And I just remember I was like, man, whatever I gotta do, I have to like take small steps to like eventually get her to the other side. But it's tough because we went back, we seesawed for a while. And the next day, my calves were so sore. And I was like, I didn't even use my calves, but it was because I was pushing into the floor to avoid it, like spread or fall. But I just remember afterwards, it's like, when you do a heavy, like a workout, with, like lots of wall balls and you kind of walk funny afterwards, that's what I felt like.
Now, are you sponsored by Reebok?
No, I'm not.
You should have been after that episode because they got shots of your nanos just like with you just grinding into the ground like a few times. I was like, oh, I know those shoes very well.
It's funny because you look back and like when I watched it, because like when we're there, you're during it, you see like Courtney Roselle, who's from the East, that we went against like near the at the end. It's just funny because like seeing like the CrossFit shoe or like, I mean not CrossFit shoe, but like the Reebok shoe, or you see like Metcons, or you see the Innovates, and it's just funny because you associate those to CrossFit just because they've been around for so long. And it's funny, it's like, man, people are like, yeah, you got like a great shout out. I'm like, well, they're not, I mean, they're my shoes, but like the Reebok, but I need whatever has the most surface that's most like going to connect with the floor. So I have the most or like friction so I don't slide or move. But it's funny. A couple people had reached out to me about that.
Yeah, I was like Reebok, you should call her up, get get her hooked up with some for the free airtime. It was funny. So you made it through pretty much well, not pretty much. You went undefeated through your whole Western region, and then you got to the finals. Again, I know there's a lot of Hollywood involved as far as the editing and things like that, but the race for between the three of you, you, Danny, and Courtney, was it as close as they? Because I mean, it looked like you and Danny were like a pull away from each other. Like,
yeah, it was close. She was a little bit further up that pole than I was. But it it wasn't exactly as close as they show, but it was pretty close. It was tough because I saw on the pole and I was like, man, if I can just catch her, and it's tough because it's like I talked because like we were not supposed to allow, or we weren't allowed to watch other people because they didn't want anyone to get the head up on other events because obviously multiple different regions, multiple people did the same events. But like people had done it previously, I think like the week before for other regions, like when they were working to the finals. It was tough because, as I said, if you're underneath, you might be a little faster, but like your grip might fatigue, and like that might be an issue for later on. And like, I mean, not knowing what was going to happen next, I'm glad I didn't go underneath because I needed my forearms and my arms and legs for like that Herculean pull with Courtney. So
that looked awful.
And I think we were there a little longer than what was the footage that was showed, but I can't remember because again, like you're in the moment, so you're kind of like time kind of evades you for a little bit.
Yeah, but it looked absolutely painful. Like I was watching it and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how you even hold on to that and and stay there, and then it's just a waiting game. You just hold until you get a little bit of that pressure or you feel them drop, and then just go.
Yeah, it was tough, but it was a good, like, I'm out of all, like, I mean, obviously we all wanted to win at every level at every point, and I know Courtney wanted it just as bad as I did, and she's an amazing person, amazing competitor. Like, I'll keep in touch with her so much till this day, and I'm glad we were able to battle it out with one another.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch, and really the final between you three was just awesome. I mean, it was the culmination of watching everything come together, and it was neat. They do a good job of, like I said, putting the theatrics on, but I mean, you got to do the work too. So awesome job. So that brings us to the final, and you were there.
Almost until I hit the cement wall. I'm just kidding.
until the wall, the darn wall.
Yeah, exactly.
That was. I mean, I'm sure it was more painful for you than. I mean, it was painful for us to watch because obviously, we were cheering you on, but that was rough. So what was it? Was it?
So like, I don't know 100%, but I think it was like some sort of plaster or like I'm thinking like drywall because it was thick, and my thought process was like, I'm just gonna ram this wall like as hard as I can, and I was like, if I run into it, my shoulder is like not necessarily a point, but it's like one like pointy object, and then if I can just like use my body weight to ram it, I'll at least crack it, break it, and then I can kick through it and then go. And so like as soon as I hit it and like it didn't even go, I was like, well, that's not gonna work. So then I was like, well, maybe I should probably kick it. And so my thought process was like, I'll just keep kicking. And like I tried different legs, and it made me think of back when like I did Taekwondo when I was really young, like a front kick, a side kick. And the only thing that I didn't try was like a back kick. So I was like, I can't really generate as much power as if a front kick, like if I take a step and then kick and momentum. And of course, like I wanted to break that wall so effing bad. Because I knew like as once I got through there, like I love the tunnel, like being able to shimmy down and up, and like I was so stoked for like the chains to grab those because I was like, I feel like I have pretty good grip strength where I can last. But obviously I didn't get there. So I mean, I had a blast. I gave it everything I got. I wish it was different, but things don't happen for a reason. And it's like, that might be the wall that I didn't break for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean there's not another wall in the future that I'm going to break through.
Absolutely. And so that kind of leads me to my next question. Like, so what is the athletic future for you? Like, I know you're doing a lot of like the online, motivation things and training. Not necessarily doing like personal training or coaching, but doing the tell me about, and I'm about to butcher the name because I didn't write it down.
The Earn Your Grapes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of like athletic adventures in the future, not sure. I'd love to do like a powerlifting meet or a strongman competition. I was just talking to Christy about that today. And I mean, it kind of the scope of what's going to happen in the future in terms of events and competitions, I really don't know. Competing necessarily isn't my forefront now. It's more about focusing on the business and growing that and being able to have that kind of, like I said earlier, break that barrier in terms of getting the wine into more locations, nationwide, eventually worldwide. But fitness is always going to be part of my life. I think competing is just, it's fun, and depending on what I'm doing and where I'm at. Competition within the CrossFit realm, I think I'm done there. And I say think because, I mean, if there's a possibility to do the Rogue Legends, which we were supposed to do this year, that would be a great opportunity just because I'm honored to be a part of that. Rogue, a phenomenal competition on the Invitational last year in 2019, and obviously being part of it this year on the media side was obviously incredible. So I won't like pinpoint nothing, but we'll see what happens. But if I do anything in the future, it'd be for fun or something where it's giving back to the community or being able to interact with others out there. Definitely I'm going to still be involved with helping others. The Earn Your Grapes has evolved from kind of it was called Fitness on the Go, GAUX. Okay. And that goal was just to provide people some workouts that were either traveling, hotel gyms, or can't get to the gym. You can do in the comfort of your hotel or home. And that evolved into our 8-week challenge or 6-week challenge we had this year starting in January. They were all workouts that could be done from home. We did 3 different levels: dumbbell, body weight, and scaled. And the goal and the incentive was to get people to feel, hey, like, let's get some fitness in, whatever it might be. A lot of people are too timid or shy to go to the gym. So we wanted to create a platform where, like, I can coach you virtually via YouTube, a video, and give them a workout. And that was great. We had so many people, like, hop on and be a part of it. And then took a little break because I was gone for the filming. And then we started to get back into it. And then obviously the pandemic hit. And so we're like, all right, well, let's just start early and start putting workouts out. And that evolved into our Earn Your Grapes, which we've been doing weekly. We'd love to do more. It's tough right now. My husband's working as a nurse. He's gone back to nursing for a little bit just because there was an opportunity for that. And trying to do the business and multiple new projects and everything that we've done already up into this, like to create more videos and put more content out. It's doable. It's just very hard when you have a 2-person team. So it's kind of like you're tag teaming and juggling back and forth. But the goal is to create more workouts that we can do not only on a weekly basis, but almost on a daily basis, just to be able to give people more content and availability to get moving. And I've seen a lot of people I've seen on social media, talking to my mom, my sister, they're not getting to the gym, they're not working out, they're not moving, they're not walking. And it's like, man, the goal is just to have some sort of physical activity because physically, mentally, emotionally, you feel so much better. So the goal and the incentive behind that is just to be able to give some people, hey, like, here's some variety of workouts you can do, get walking. And I've been walking more consistently in the past few months just because we have a dog and she needs exercise. So I'll go for a walk. And walking's been huge to just like kind of clearing my mind, giving myself 45 minutes a day to like have peace because it's so easy for me to be pulled to my phone or my computer. Sorry, I went a long tangent there.
Oh, no, I love it. And that being said, you do wear a lot of hats. So like you've got a lot of things going on. So I have the bottles of wine over here. So tell me a little bit about which one do you want to start with? So
good question. Let's start with the goat. That's like the most popular one.
So that's this one here. Now, so my kids brought me the bottle opener, but I can't open it because I don't have the foil cutter.
I mean, you could try to go straight to the foil. The foil's super soft and light, so you might be able to open it if you want. So a lot of people think like if you have like the either like a little knife or the cutter to like open it, you have to do it, which is good, obviously, depending on the opener you have. If you can, you might be able to go straight through it depending on what you have there. But with the foil cap, the tin foil we actually use is very light. Did it work?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
I think it's stuck a little bit, but there we go. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, it smells amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad. So Goat is it's been the most popular wine. It is a Petite Syrah Garnacha blend, so 3 different grape varietals. People that like dark bold, full-bodied wines like a Cab or Syrah or even a Zinfandel, this is their
Okay.
go-to wine. If you look, I mean, obviously people that are watching or listening won't be able
Yeah.
to see it, but yeah, so GOAT stands for greatest of all time. And when we were
Yeah.
looking for labels, when we started the company, we wanted something that was going to be unique and different. So since you just opened it and might need a little time to air, we
Yeah.
bottled this in June, so it's recently bottled. So give it like 5, 10 minutes, you'll notice it'll change a little bit.
Okay. It take.
Uh,
I did take a sip, and it tastes
yeah.
amazing. So
Well, that's
I'm
awesome.
I'm a fan of wine. My wife and I both were a fan of wine. So, and she
Oh,
loves a good dry, a
good
good dry.
dry
So
wine.
she's gonna love that as well.
Yeah, so
So
she'll probably
very
her
good.
favorite will probably be Go, and then maybe Cheerson after that.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's the one I have right
yeah,
here. So
the next
I got
one.
this one sitting here, and tell the story about the label,
Yeah,
because
so
I know
Cheers.
if yeah.
Yeah, so Cheerson, we named it after my sister, so we dedicated the wine to her. Her name was Kirsten. When she was 11 years old, she was very sassy, and she's like, "My name is pronounced Cheerston in Scandinavia," so we had to call her Cheerston, not Kirsten. So that kind of gives you a little
H.
bit of sass. Yeah, it was a Scandinavian name, and so she was she's very sassy through her years.
Yeah.
But she's like, "No, you have to call me by this name." So we called her by that name from there on out. And a friend of hers on Facebook actually had shared a story that they had met at some party when they were in Portland, and she had like a red like solo cup, and she
Mhm.
befriended her right away, went up to her and said, "Hi, my name's Cheerson, like cheers tin," and like cheers her glass with her. And I was like, man, that like obviously brought tears in my eyes, but it was very impactful. And so I was like, all right, I want to somehow incorporate that. So when we were creating labels and designs, we ended up naming the wine Cheerson after her, obviously changed the spelling. And then that painting is one of her last paintings she did before she passed. It's called The Purple
Yeah.
Tree. And so
It's
we,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah. So we wanted to dedicate kind of using obviously one of her paintings for that for her.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, and I know we got to hear that story a lot on on Titan Games, and if you and I'm telling the people listening to this, if you haven't gone and watched Titan, go ahead, on Hulu, and here catch up on everything we've been talking about. But and then finally we have the third one.
Yes. So the third one, it's 11 Year On, which is winemaker in French.
Okay.
And we did kind of a cartoon drawing of a
Yep.
winemaker sniffing the wine. You kind of see like the aromas coming out of the wine. So they talk about the nose in a wine. So we
Yes.
said like this has a big nose. So we kind of made a little bit of a spoof of a drawing of that, but we wanted to
Okay.
create something fun and unique and different. We know a lot of people buy wine based off labels, especially that are new to wine. Um,
Yes.
people we've done, I mean, it's not like an accurate assessment, but from everyone that we've asked, anytime we've done tastings, people, about half of them, or about 50%, be like, "Oh yeah, I buy my wine based off labels." I'm like, perfect, you're our perfect clientele. But we want to create something unique,
Yes.
and different. Because I think when you go to a wine shop or a grocery store and you look at all the labels that are on the wine wall or location, it can be very overwhelming, especially if
Yeah.
you're new to wine drinking. So we wanted to create something that captures your attention, but also like tells a story and shares something that you can essentially share the wine bottle with whoever you're enjoying the wine with.
That's awesome. I and so what's the flavor? So what's the difference in the three as far
Yeah,
as
yeah.
we
So
we
goat
talked
will
we talked
be
about the goat.
yeah. So goat will be like the most bold, more of a full-bodied wine. Cheerson will be more
Okay.
of a medium-bodied wine. Cheerson has a little bit of pepper, a little bit of spice to it. They're
Okay.
all super easy to drink, dangerously easy to drink. So they go down very soft and very smooth. And Cheerson's a blend of Petit Syrah, Petit Verdot, Grenache, and Syrah. So it's four different grapes in there. And then
Okay.
Levenron is the lightest of them all, so a light-bodied wine. It's Zinfandel and Carniena, has a little bit of kind of like cherry flavors,
Okay.
but super light. And I recommend anyone that I mean, especially with these wines, just because if we ship them, they're coming from a fulfillment center, need a little bit of time to settle. But
Mhm.
recommend letting them open for about 5 to 10 minutes to kind of let them aerate, get some oxygen into them, so that they get the full like body of the wine.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, like I said, me and my wife love wine. Actually, for our honeymoon, and oh gosh, I'm gonna put myself on the spot here. We've been married 13 years. Yeah, it was
That's
13
awesome.
years this year. So it'll be 14 years next year. But there's a winery in St. Augustine,
Okay.
San Sebastian, and so for our honeymoon while we were there, we went and took the whole wine tour and kind of did the
Oh,
whole
that's
walk, and
awesome.
so kind of wine has been in a relationship the whole time. It's been nice.
I love it.
It's been good, but so we love a great glass of wine. So I know
Awesome.
she's been eyeing. So I got these bottles on Monday,
And she's
and
been looking at them.
she's just looking at them. She's just been eyeing them. Like, so when's your interview?
You're like, so when can we open them?
Yeah, when can we open these? So she's super excited that now that they're open, we can try them and
That's
have
awesome.
them. So.
Yeah,
But,
I think if she likes a bold, strong, dry wine, then she'll like probably the goat first, and then maybe Tristan after that. Tristan has a little bit of dryness, a little bit of tannins, but not as much as a goat.
yeah, I just tasting that little bit, and I didn't let it aerate, but
No, you're so fine.
just tasting that little bit, she's definitely gonna love that one. So
Awesome. Yay.
super happy. So we'll be ordering those again for sure. So I know you don't have a lot more time, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but tell people where they can find you, how they can follow you on social media, where they can get the wine from, and all those things.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at 321go GAUX, and then we also have the goat wine on there, so we can follow along. And then our website is thegoatwine.com, and we have the wine and apparel, and we have a blog on there that I'm sharing more kind of information about food, nutrition, recipes, and all that stuff. So people can check it out there. And if they're looking for workouts, they can head to YouTube and just search my name, Margaux Alvarez. We have tons of free workouts that people can do. We have some yoga on there as well that people can incorporate into their daily life.
That's fantastic. Well, Margaux, thank you so much for doing this, for taking this time, and again for just inspiring my daughter. She's
awesome. They're both amazing.
They are. And so the oldest, she's into horses, so she is like all in on horses and art and doing all those things, and she comes and works out just because we make them stay active. It's a part of life, so whether you want to do this full time or not, you definitely have to stay active and stay healthy, just like you said, with the Earn Your Grapes. Totally. Just getting out, doing something. So we get her out to do stuff, but she would rather be rolling around in the hay with horses and an art book. That's her happy place.
That's awesome.
But my 7-year-old, she jumps into the gym, and that blows me away, the things that she does. I don't know if I told you, she did the workout Burt. I don't know if you know what that hero watt is.
I think I saw something about posted on social media, but I can't remember the details.
So it's just real quick rundown. It's 50 burpees, 400 meter run, 100 push-ups, 400 meter run, 150 lunges, 400 meter run, 200 air squats, and then back down. So then you do 400 meter run, then 150, 400, 100, 400, 50, all the way back down. And the only thing we scaled for her was the run. Instead of doing a 400, we had her do a 200 because she's 7 and her legs are short, so that's basically like a 400 anyways. And she did the entire thing. Halfway through it, we even told her, listen, you can go ahead and stop. You've done plenty. Yeah. And she's like, no, I want to finish the whole thing. And one of our RX athletes was going in the same class, in the same heat, and she kept looking over in the corner and watching him and making sure that she stayed just ahead of him.
That is hilarious. That is so amazing.
And she's sitting there and going, and we're like, oh, he's almost done with his push-ups. And she would bust through her push-ups, and then she'd get out there on the run, and she beat him.
That's so awesome.
I mean, it was all body weight workout. So, I mean, essentially the only thing she didn't do. Yeah, she's just crushing it. So who knows? I mean, we might have a future, a future Haley Adams, I guess. She's the next teen sensation, coming up in the games. But she likes to get in there and just push through. And even if she doesn't follow through with it, the lessons she's learning about perseverance and how it doesn't matter, the work has to get done. I mean, those things are such an important lesson, especially for kids now, that they just don't get. And it's been incredible to watch. And like I said, a lot of that is due to you, because she would go and she'd work out and she'd do this and do that. But then she saw you on the Titan games and literally looked at me and goes, Daddy, do you think they have a kids Titan Games because I would totally
Oh
do
my
that.
God, I love it. That's so
So,
awesome. I think it's
so we get,
great 'cause you created that environment. You and your wife have created that environment and you're supportive of that. And I think especially kids these days, they need supportive environments and there's so much that can be pulling you. But I think understanding that if you want something, you have to work hard for it. It's not just going to be
yeah,
given to you on a silver platter. You need to earn what you're looking to reap in a way where it's like you want something, you have to put in the work, put in the time, put in the sacrifice versus just expecting it's going to be given to you. It's like it doesn't work that way. But I've noticed recently in recent years and months that not everyone has that mentality. And it's like, and it's unfortunate, I feel like, because that's the next generation that's coming up. And if they're just expecting things to be given to them, then that's like not going to last very long. You're not going to make it very
yeah,
far because things out there, like if you peel back the layers and you peel back the cover, sometimes it's like it's not what you think it is. It's like it's going to be grim and it's going to be you have to be willing to get your hands dirty and do that work. And if you don't want to, then that's very unfortunate for that person or individual that thinks like that. So that's
absolutely.
awesome that you guys are doing that, and she's gonna be very successful in anything that she does.
Yeah, and really, it's one of those things. You tell her she can't do something, and she's like, "Watch me."
Yeah,
she'll,
that is
she'll just
awesome,
go ahead and do it.
her man.
So she kind of like what you said about your sister. She just kind of has that spark
Yep,
to her. She's the same
totally.
way. She just she will just get in there and get her hands dirty and do
Oh,
the work.
that's
So
so amazing. I'm so happy for that. She'll
so
be very
it's
successful in
fun.
everything she does.
Yeah, she absolutely. And the only thing that we tell her, and this is not just her, but to all of our kids, is like you can do anything that you want. The only rule is that once you start it, you're not allowed to stop. Like you have to finish it. You don't have to do it again, but you have to finish it. So
Yeah,
if you join a sport, you're gonna finish the season. If you hate it, okay, we won't do it next year, but you have to finish.
finish it.
So that's the biggest thing is if you start something, you finish.
Yep.
And you go all the way through it. And she's taken it to the literal. It was funny when she did that workout, when she did Bert. The next day she went into school, um, and she could barely walk.
So
the
I
poor girl,
bet I was like, there's a lot
the
of air
poor
skills.
girl. She's 7 years old, but she was having a hard time like getting up from her chair and walking around the classroom. And her teacher was like, I think she might, I think maybe she's like being a little dramatic. And then they went out to recess and she was just walking gingerly as well. She's like, oh no, she really, like,
That's funny.
she's really sore. But it's like, we didn't force her. Like, we told
Yeah,
her, listen, you've done enough. You've done more than enough. And she's like,
yeah.
no, I'm going to. And, even, so she's actually been competing since she was 4.
That's
Um,
incredible.
so so her and I actually we have a competition coming up called Reindeer Rumble where
Okay.
it's a team competition, so the parents can team up with the kids, and she
Oh,
wanted to do it.
that's so cool.
Yeah, so she
I
wanted to
love
do it at
it.
4 years old. She did it, and like she'll do some of the workouts and she'll cry, but
Oh,
she'll continue to finish the workout. Like
wow. That's
she'll have a
something
dumbbell
different,
doing
man.
a
That's
thruster.
something special.
It is. So it's been fun to watch. Well, our time is pretty much up, and like I said, I know you're busy and you've got things to
No,
got to
no.
go do. But
I appreciate you having me on, of course.
thank you so much for doing this. And listen, we're looking forward to seeing what you're doing in the future, and we'll keep watching and checking it out on social media, and I'll keep sending you updates on Stella. And
Yes, definitely keep me posted. If you guys ever come out to Vegas, let me know.
well, absolutely, we will do. Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Of course.
All
Thank you
right,
so much. Have a great night.
you too. Bye bye.
Hey there, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did not get a chance, make sure you get over to thegoatwine.com. Check out some of this wine. I've got Cheerston right here. We've got some amazing wine from The Goat Wine from Margaux Alvarez. So go check it out today at thegoatwine.com. It is delicious. The goat is already inside. My wife is already trying it out, and she loves it. So make sure you go and support and follow Margaux on all of her social media platforms like she mentioned in the episode. She was an absolute dream to interview and talk to, and just an amazing person inside and out. And super happy that she joined us on the show today. I hope you enjoyed today's show. We've got more interviews coming up in the next couple weeks, so I'm super excited about those as well. And I'm not going to spill the beans on it just yet. I will let you see as they come along.
for today's episode. You guys have a great day. Make sure you're nice to each other, be good to each other, and have a great week. Peace.